When you look at a nutrition label, you see calories, carbs, protein, and fat. Maybe a little fiber if you squint. But if your gut bacteria could read that same label, they'd laugh. Because to them, it's all about what's fermentable, what's feast-worthy, and what's downright offensive. The truth is, while we obsess over macros, our gut microbes are running an entirely different system of nutrition, one that doesn't care about your 1,200-calorie goal, but deeply cares whether that snack contains soluble fiber, resistant starch, or polyphenol. In fact, gut bacteria interpret food with a nuance we can't match. They're not just passive bystanders digesting our leftovers, they're biochemical translators, decoding every bite and turning it into metabolic instructions. So when you eat a handful of pistachios or a bowl of lentils, your gut flora doesn't see 130 calories or 8 grams of fat. They see building blocks for short-chain fatty acids, fuel for butyrate producers, polyphenol substrates that can alter gene expression. Basically, they see purpose. Take fiber, for example. To us, it's that thing that keeps you regular. To microbes, it's sacred. Complex plant fibers in foods like pistachios, beans, and leafy greens get fermented in the colon, producing short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, propionate, and acetate. These molecules do more than keep your gut lining happy. They talk to your liver, influence insulin sensitivity, modulate immune responses, and even shape appetite-regulating hormones. That's metabolic micromanagement your calorie counter could never offer. And let's not forget polyphenol, the colorful, bitter compounds in berries, nuts, and greens. Most of them aren't absorbed in your small intestine, which means they get dumped right into the gut, where bacteria like Akkermansia and Roseburia break them down into bioactive compounds that reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. So while we barely register them on a label, your microbiome sees polyphenol as a signal, a thumbs up to grow, diversify, and push out inflammatory riffraff. Even fats get a microbial filter. Plant-based fats from nuts and seeds are metabolized very differently than saturated fats from animal products. The former tends to promote species that enhance gut barrier function and lower post-meal blood sugar. The latter, not so much. In fact, certain bile acids secreted when digesting animal fats can favor the growth of pro-inflammatory bacteria. Again, the same macronutrient, fat, has radically different downstream effects depending on the source, and your microbiome is the one making the judgment call. This is why two people can eat the same exact meal and have completely different metabolic outcomes. If your gut is rich in fiber-loving, anti-inflammatory species, that bowl of chickpeas and pistachios becomes a metabolic upgrade. But if your microbiome is dominated by bugs that prefer sugar, simple starches, and animal fats, the same meal may be underutilized, or even provoke bloating, glucose spikes, or fat storage. Your microbes are the middlemen deciding how your body interprets food, regardless of what the label says. The implications are huge. Instead of counting calories or grams of carbs, we may need to start asking, what kind of conversation will this food have with my microbes? Will it encourage cooperation or chaos? And more importantly, am I eating in a way that builds an ecosystem capable of protecting my metabolism long-term? So the next time you pick up a snack, think beyond the numbers. Your microbiome doesn't speak calories. It speaks fiber, fermentability, flavonoids, and fats with a point of view. And when you start feeding it right with pistachios, beans, greens, and berries, it just might start translating that care into better blood sugar, calmer inflammation, and a metabolism that works with you, not against you.